Morning, everybody. It's Thursday, September 1st. Happy September 1st, everybody, and hopefully you guys are lined up for a good Labor Day weekend in the United States and good weekend for everybody across the world. Today we're starting out at a camera in Australia, and you can find the link right here, or I'll try to remember to paste it below. But the reason I wanted to show you all this one today is because I think it's pretty remarkable in the sense of seeing a very clear picture of the two suns. For what I really think, it's hard to find reliable pictures of the two suns because lens flares dominate that conversation so much. It's really hard to tell the difference between a lens flare and an actual object. So what I wanted to show here is an example of both, actually. So what I'm going to do first is show you the real one, and let's see if we can get it here. So you can see up here we've got a light source emanating from this right-hand side of the photograph, and then we can clearly see Sol here, right? So let me continue. And again, you can see it's emanating light from behind the clouds. It's not a lens flare, right? And it gets brighter, right? And it's shooting down. See? You with me? And then we get this little weird thing showing up. Right? Now watch where it turns into a lens flare. See? It's a lens flare. It disappeared when the sun disappeared, right? But then again, I got to go back, and I got to tell you, man, when it's in this position, it's hard to say what that is, right? Right there. Right? So it's very difficult to see lens flares, but I do think that this is actually a refraction of the second sun, and then as it gets further on, it's an extended lens refraction. So it's complicated stuff. You can't just do it like one time at a time. Now here's an interesting corroboration with the research that we're doing on the Jupiter explosion that we captured on the Sept in May. So basically, on May 17th, at the same time frame, we had an explosion that was recorded, or a huge fireball that was recorded over the northeastern United States. And I'm just wondering if it's not that they actually saw the same phenomenon, only saw it from the ground, but it was such a huge explosion that it was visible it almost looked like it was in our own atmosphere, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So let's move on to some other stuff here. Hi, everybody. Again, this is another weird day, okay? So a subscriber sends me this photograph from today, from HelioViewer. I can't quite make out the time, but I think it's 7:41, showing a double eclipse. That's very interesting. Sometimes the Earth and the Moon do get seen together in the HelioViewer, or I mean on these cameras. But what I want to point out, though, is this, whatever this is, if it's the Moon or the Earth, is a solid object. And I'll show you what I'm doing here to kind of look at that. So I take this object in this stage of its, and again, this is from today at 7:36:16 UTC, if you want to go look at it yourself on HelioViewer. And it's very interesting. So I'm looking at it at 193 angstroms, doing that kind of test, and seeing if it obfuscates at every bandwidth, if you will, of UV. I don't know what that 4500 really does. 1700 though, that high range, it's solid. It's, there's no translucence to it. There's no, you know what I mean? You can't see through this object. So it's either the moon or some other object. Now, what I want to do is I want to see if the second part of this we can actually catch. Okay, so that's it moving off. So we want to go a little earlier, I think. Let's go there and see what happens. Okay, it's completely dark at 7:30. Why is it completely dark? That wasn't covering the whole sun. Oh, yeah, the double eclipse. All right, so here's the big eclipse first, right? And again, in this one, I can't see through it either. So this could be the Earth transversing it. But since this eclipse started at that same basic time and has been increasing, we don't know for sure. But I just think this is interesting that we've captured a double eclipse. Thank you to the subscriber who sent this to me with the note, good luck to you. That's kind of dire. 7:32. Okay, so we got a little bit there so we can play with the angstroms, right? So I go to here. Again, we get that same thing where part of it is occluded at the different angstrom levels. That's different. Oh, that is So interesting. And then here's that sharp edge of that other eclipse. Unbelievable. That's really cool. I don't care if it's, Nibiru or not. It's just cool to look at this stuff. So let's go to the 194 shows everything all the time. Okay? And so we can see the object here, whatever it is, and then we can see the other, kind of occlusion really easy. Go play with this yourself, man. Don't take my word for it. And really, anybody that thinks they have all the answers for this stuff is just, no. Nobody has the answers. And this is the thing. I can be wrong and be okay with that, but I have a lot of people that are very easy to point out because they will stick to whatever they say no matter what. Trust me, if I get something that tells me the facts are different, we're changing. But this is just fascinating. Don't you guys think? So let's go a little later here. Let's try 2 to 732. And now we got that double eclipse. And again, you play with the different angstroms, and we've got a different... So it's, again, the sun going dark, apparently. And could it be as a result of passing this object that we're seeing? I don't know. Interesting thought. Just crazy, guys. This is so freaking crazy. So there we are, where the larger, sun thing was out, and we got that, and then we've got, again, I want to just take you back to the picture of the double eclipse. Double eclipse today, guys. That is crazy. It's not an eclipse. Remember, it's not an eclipse necessarily of the visible spectrum. The thing, that more crisp, clear thing, is probably the moon. But I just think it's interesting to be able to compare the moon to this other occlusion or loss of power from the sun. That's why I think this is really important and interesting, everybody. Just for good records, the sun was occluded by the larger power down / eclipse at 6:20 today. And again, the same thing happened that has been happening every day. And now people are trying to say that they're adjusting the cameras or something like that. Okay, you know what? Fine. But the problem is that this is getting, predictably longer in time each day. We're keeping tables on it. Guys, again, this is something to pay attention to because it does bring to mind the prophetical statement of 3 days of darkness. And this could be, as this lengthens out, it could truly, let's just keep an eye on it. Heads up. Remember this series of images from in May 12th to the 20th, where we saw the explosion over by Jupiter? So you guys remember this? You remember that footage. This is footage from Jupiter at approximately the same day. It was on the 17th of May, right before the collision. And I don't think it was a collision with Jupiter. Some people are trying to tell me it was, but I think that this is more evidence of the passing body than anything else. Is this huge aurora borealis? Okay, so looking to go confirm if they were going to turn off the ISS HD viewing experiment on September 1st, as rumored on the internet. It so far looks like they turned off the ISS feed, guys. Okay, just want to let you know. Keep me updated though. If they turn it back on, I'd like to know. Okay, what you're looking at here this is what we used to see from SETI when H12A and H12B were both in operation. So stereo behind and stereo ahead. Stereo ahead's the one that's still on right now, and they indeed did put this here to occlude the light of the Earth that was very bright back in the day before there was all, in this time period in 2007. Makes perfect sense. Astronomy Now is telling the truth on that. However, we're still only looking at H2A right now, and it is got the baffle on the other side. Anyway, I wanted to show you guys this because this is interesting, because from B in 2007, and we had a similar explosionary event over on that baffle. We're going to discuss this in a long format program tonight, so don't miss the show tonight with Jake and Wayne. We're going to talk about these in depth and do some analysis, but I just wanted to show you that. And then look at the second one. This is also from 2007, and this is both A and B when it's working stereo, when it's the way it's working the way it's supposed to work. And 4/23, 2007, check this out. Does anybody see the little spaceship right over there? It reminds me of Ezekiel's wheel, quite frankly, and we're going to talk about that more tonight. Okay, guys, now you're going to get to see how far behind I am on sub photos because I'm going to run through them quick, and if you have any questions or anything, just slow it down. But this was from Tojak East FAA cameras, August 30th. Note the object behind the sun, and also it seems almost like there's some kind of an energy exchange. Again, very large orb. Strange red cloud that pops into this huge thing. Again, this is from Canada. I'm sorry, I'll let them wait. And then there's that strange image of the two planetary bodies behind the sun there from, again, the FAA network for pilots in Alaska and Canada. Look at there, you can clearly see that they're behind the clouds. Like I said, just stop it on any of these if you want to and check it out more. Jeez. Interesting. This is another one of those strange shadows from the sunset. Now we're starting to get pictures of this, and this orb with the stripes on it. This is what I actually saw with my naked eyes, and this is from one of the FAA cams, I think Anchorage, just a close-up. I think I have some other images here. This one's from June Cyphers, where she actually took and looked at one of the red orbs a little closer. Again, there's that big orb with the hole in it. It's not like we're seeing different things every time. Here's another one where we took a picture and they could actually, if you look very closely, you can see the planet with the stripes on it. Right there, see it? Yeah, and I'm just getting, I have lots of Sept pictures mixed in here. Now, what's interesting about this wheel here, if you're, just a few seconds ago, we were looking at that H2 footage, that Ezekiel wheel pattern. I wonder if that explains when we see this Ezekiel wheel refraction. This is red dust. Again, people are starting to notice iron oxide. That is what we're supposing it might be. This is just a huge. This is one from one of my very, very good subscriber friends, and she put this. She gave us this picture from one of the Bloom Sky cameras. It's ominous, right? And what's second about that is there's that striped planet again. Now, when I see it in 3 different pictures, 3 different sources, as a reporter, that to me, that's you validated your source. Okay. Again, here's some more stuff from Roy today on first of all, or I'm sorry, from August 29th. You see, I'm catching up, and you can just stop and read his comments on here. But Roy has been such a blessing, and Roy, I just want to make sure that you know that we think you're a blessing. And then there's that striped planet showing up again. See it? And don't ask me why it's got 2 stripes on it. I mean, they don't give us a really good shot at ever figuring it out, right? I'm just going to kind of skip through a couple of these. And Roy, thank you, though. I'm not trying to go over, but we have a lot of material still left in here yet. Boing, boing, boing. So anyway, that's the planet when he time lapses it and then he reverses it out so that you can see it. And it takes my computer a second or two to pixelate. But look at just this. These are the images I get on a daily basis. This one from Anchorage, and by the way, Anchorage FAA camera has been very interesting lately because they're starting to see other objects up by it. And also we're catching from Beaver Southwest. Again, we think that's the star, the actual Nemesis star. And again, there's that red glowing orb coming from behind the clouds, guys, at Beaver East on the 29th. So there's an object in the sky in Alaska. Okay? There's no disputing it now. And these are just pictures that people catch out of their cameras that are crazy, and this is just one of them. This is a very strange lens flare. Halo, halo. Hello, halo. This is a picture of that $320 million gamble. Oh, guys, did you see this? This is Google's page today, right? And the snake is eating its tail, and there's a serpent in the sky, and there's a little boy reading a book, and he is freaking out. Tell me that that's not some subliminal frickin'. More all Skycam photos. And what's interesting about this one, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to pass off over it. Look at these orbs showing up. See those? Incredible. In fact, let me take this picture and blow it up here for a second. Let's take a close look at those orbs. Again, this is me catching up on my subscriber photos because you guys have given me so much material. I want to make sure that it gets seen the best we can. And let's see, let's go over. Okay, so it's over here a little bit, and it's down a little bit, and then it's out a little bit. There we go. So there's those orbs, and you can see that it's in the air. It's not like a tower or anything like that. Very, 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 very strange. What isn't strange? Every day it's a different strange thing for me. I mean, you know, and this is her shots of the orbs. What were they trying to show me in this one? Don't know. Oh, look, our striped planet's back. September 1st from today, Palmer, Northeast. Check it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, there's a little planet showing up in front of it, too. I wonder if that's our red object, and this thing's just flying around the back of it. Look at behind the sun, guys. What is that? What is that? You know, what is that? Uh-oh, you know what? It's almost time to preach again. So if you don't like preaching, you might want to turn off now. So I want to end on this. You know, I want to talk about September's National Preparedness Month, and there's no expiration time. It really is preparation month. And I know that a lot of you guys might get confused by what I'm saying when I say prepare spiritually. Well, let me tell you a story. And this has to do with a series that I'm going to do on the gospel here pretty soon, but just hang with me for a second. God in the universe and in through these different traditions, but in my tradition, the Christian tradition, Jesus was, just think about this, in our scriptures, in our writings, we say that Jesus was the exact representation of God. So in other words, we think he was a God avatar, right? So he's running around as the Son of God and also the man of God and, you know, and all that good stuff. And here's what he has to say about you, okay? In John chapter 17, you see Jesus praying to the Father, asking that we can be in him as he is in him and him as he and blah, 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 right? So go read John 17 if you have a Bible or online, and go read that. And instead of you thinking about that's Jesus praying for a bunch of people standing around him, that's his prayer for you, my friend. So anyway, that's what you do. The first thing you do for September is National Preparedness Month. Okay, here's more McKinley Park from today. I didn't see these yet, so let's take a closer look. All right. Yep. There's those crater holes. And Roy wanted me to get out that the fact that we did capture the crater holes when we did our balloon flights, and now that he's seeing it in the FAA, and it is absolutely a match, you guys. So from our balloon flight footage a couple months ago and the recent footage here, it is a match. So we are getting more and more validation. Thank you, Roy, for all that work. So let me leave you guys on this note. We have one more day today left for you guys to order a shirt or donate to become a founding member. I'll put one quick announcement up for everybody, but I just want to tell you guys how much I love and appreciate you guys coming, stepping up, being a part of this movement, being a part of what we're trying to do. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And tonight, watch the show because we're going to get into that 2007 footage and the event today on SDO. Okay? Talk to you soon.